Welcome to the Game Changer 00100 show. I'm your host, Game Changer. And today is going to be a simple discussion, a simple topic. How was your weekend? Simple enough, right? I mean, did you do anything interesting? Did you do anything exciting? Did you enjoy your weekend? Or did you just sit and listen to a 60-year-old man talk shit about nothing? Did you do that? Like, serious question. Did you actually just for 8 hours on your Saturday, whether it's night or well, no, it's Saturday night, did you spend 8 hours of your Saturday night talking to and listening to an old drunk nigga? Oh, let me check back with the chat room to see your response. One moment. All right, not there. One moment. Oh, I have to. All right, I got to publish the thing in my other channel so people will know to come here. So there's that. Okay, now that that's done, let me go back to the chat room. Doop, doop, doop. And let me say what's up to some people. Thank you for coming. Thank you for supporting. All right. So, Julius, what's going on? Drunkard Cat, salute, salute. Let's see. Julius, salute. Yada, what's going on? PSA. What does that mean? Okay, thanks. And yeah, I don't watch BGS anymore unless I'm extremely bored. Yeah, you was being productive, right? I mean, I don't know. It's here's the thing. You guys ever get together during a family holiday or event, worst case scenario, a funeral, or a wedding, best case scenario, wedding, birthday, or something like that, family reunion. And there is like this old nigga with nothing that anybody wants, but he's always seems to want to expand his useless wisdom to people. He's always trying to get people to gather around him, as if just because he is old, he has wisdom on something like that, on anything. But nobody ever actually takes him seriously because you can just look at him and see that he is the type of person that should not be taken seriously. However, on the internet, this person is a master teacher. Isn't that funny? Isn't that weird? Isn't that a little bizarre? I find it fascinating that on a Saturday night, people are listening to this shit. Now, here's my theory, and I want all of you to follow through with me on this. Okay, this is a story, and I know every time I tell a story about my past, someone uses it against me, but fuck it, is what it is. All right, so when I was a kid, anywhere between 3 to 5 years old, I was sleeping in the living room because that's what little boys like to do from time to time. Um, we like to make pallets like we're camping or something. So in the living room in front of the fireplace. And um, just looking at the fire, and I don't know, it could have just been my childhood imagination, or this could have actually happened. A shadow in the fireplace had the appearance of the devil. Like the fire, the way it was shaped, created a shadow, and the flames looked like horns and shit like that. And I don't know, something about it scared the shit out of me, right? And so as a little boy, I ran to my sleeping father. And my father just, told me to, sleep with him for the rest of the night. And I did. And I felt comfort. I felt protected. I was glad that this image of my future self was there for me and protected me against something that made me afraid at the time. See, there is a certain comfort that comes with fatherhood to young boys that cannot be replaced and it cannot be substituted. No matter how many Father's Day cards you give your mother. No, the truth of the matter is there is a certain comfort from fatherhood that just cannot be substituted, no matter how hard we try. And the main reason for that is because this is your future self. Now, were I, the child of a single mother, I would, of course, run to my mother, but I wouldn't get the same feeling of this is what I am going to grow to be one day. This is a part of who I am. This is a part of what I have to be. People need their fathers. Little boys and little girls need their fathers. Unfortunately, we live in a society, or I should say, in a sub society, a subculture, or whatever you want to call it, that there is absence of a lot of fathers. Now we can go back and forth on why that is, and we have gone back and forth on why that is. So it's really going to be redundant to even attempt to do that. But what I will say is that there, excuse me, that the absence of having a father is expressing itself in the Black community at present amongst adult men in a very, very negative way. And that's unfortunate. Okay. So let me send a couple of links out. Y'all chat amongst yourselves, and I will read some comments after that if there are any. So everybody's on tonight, so I don't really expect a large turnout. And besides, I'm still trying to get this new channel going. So all right. Sent it out to Complex. Let's see. All right. Okay, so that's that. All right, now let me just take a look at the chat room. Give me one moment, fellas and ladies. Oh. Look like somebody's finishing up, so let me just put it out right there. Yep, that's done. Okay, let me get out of there. Okay, so salute Lando. Let's see. No, I don't watch. Okay, confident wanted to belong, etc. That's why they tune in. Absolutely. Let's see. The pain of not having a dad around will be lifelong. You will have to grow up at some point. Yeah, easier said than done, but yes. What I notice is that Black people, particularly Black men, are looking for comfort, a fatherly comfort, not in the wrong places per se, but anywhere they can find it. And that's highly dangerous because what you have is you have opportunists, people who otherwise society would not take seriously. However, because this person is fitting in to this empty hole that a lot of Generation X and Millennial, and even Generation Z children have in their life, he's basically the father that's there. He's the father that's there. So people will gravitate towards this image. They become protective of the image. They become defenders of it. They worship it, call it master teacher, etc., etc. They say, oh, this is the master teacher, and everything this person says, is damn near infallible. Why? Because he is the father that they never had. He is the person that you can run to on a Friday or Saturday night, and just his presence alone gives you the comfort that I received as a 3 to 5 year old boy when I thought I saw the devil in the fireplace. Adult men and women are seeking this comfort. Now, this weekend, um, while I was doing something, last night, while I was doing something, now I was going to actually get into what I was doing when I received the Google Hangout text, or well, one of my subscribers informed me of what was going on. I was going to say what I was doing at the time, but I'm not, because I don't want this to be that type of topic. And shout out to Rude, but they're kind of going somewhere with this that I don't want to go. But while I was being more productive with my time and kind of getting a higher quality of life from my Saturday night than this person was, and the people who were on the panel, and in the thing, I was being insulted, and I was being insulted on the basis of how much pussy I'm getting by people who were not fucking anybody at the time that they were saying this.
Do I sense a bit of irony there?
Yes, more than a little bit. It was very ironic, and I'm not going to say if I was actually in coitus um, while they were doing that, but that would just like, wouldn't that just like magnify the irony?
It would be like the cherry on the top.
Exactly. And speaking of cherry on top, last night, well, never mind. But 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 that would be crude, right?
We're still early. It's still early. It's still early.
Yeah, exactly. It's still early, but that would be ridiculously ironic. Um, but and I actually was going to go there because I made a record, because when I got it, I actually pulled out my camera to show exactly what I was doing while these niggas were on a panel talking shit about me. How I was actually spending my Saturday night. Um, while they were talking about how lame I was, because I don't know what can be more lame than listening to a 60-year-old nigga talk. I cannot fathom, like, unless it's your dying grandpa or dying father or some shit like that. I cannot imagine like a less or a more lame use of your Saturday night. I shit you not. I shit you not. I cannot imagine a more lame, like, oh, so, and the topic of today's discussion, how was your weekend? So, two BGS and a panelist, how was your weekend? What did you do? They're going to go to work tomorrow and when people, white people, Asian people, Latin people, they're going to say to them, like, so what'd you do this weekend? Oh, this weekend, I played ball with my friends, or, I did this, and this, or we had a girls' night, or we had a guys' night, or we went out and played some pool, or I just went and sat in the bar and, and chopped it up with some friends, or I played Monopoly with the kids, or, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. I helped my son with a science project, or I just read a really good book, or I was on a flight coming from a place where I really enjoyed myself, or I was on a flight going to a place where I'm going to enjoy myself. That
Tried
is the
that new killer pad thai recipe.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. I did a bunch of interesting things. What did you do? The same thing I did last weekend. Listen to BGS. That is that is your answer? People. Okay. Okay. And I say this out of love. There are only 51 to 53 Saturdays per year, which means that if you're in your 20s, You have anywhere between 510 and 530 Saturdays per year, or in your 20s. That is it. That is all. These are precious. This is the day that you didn't have to work. Most people, the day that you didn't have to work, and you do not have to work the following day. Make the most of it. For crying out loud. I mean, think about if this was real life. If this was real life, would you feel comfortable in saying that this is how you spent your Saturday? Imagine at like a concert hall or something like that, and and there's this 60-year-old guy there, and it's not an actual concert. It's not an actual concert. No, there's no music or entertainment. It's just him and a few drunk niggas talking shit while you are gathered around listening to it. That is what you did last night. How did you spend your weekend? Tell people that. When somebody asks, how did you spend your weekend? Tell them that. Tell them exactly what you did Saturday night, and then look closely at their expression. I want you to look closely at their expression. Tell them exactly what you did. Tell them that you were on YouTube listening to a 60-year-old man call other guys educated lames. Tell them exactly what you did that weekend. Please, please do that. And see that they don't think of you as a lame. There is nothing more lame than that. I'm sorry. And I'm pretty sure, and I'm not saying I'm like this, exceptional. We'll see boogies. I'm not like this exceptional select dude or a jawline nigga or something like that. Shit. Probably. Many of you motherfuckers. Because y'all have more swag or whatever the fuck y'all think y'all got. Many of you would outdo me in the open dating market. But guess what? Y'all not in the open dating market. Y'all at home talking to a 60-year-old nigga. So I mean, what does it matter? What does it matter how much swag you have or anything like that when you are spending your Saturday nights doing this shit? And what's even weirder, what's even more fucked up, is that this is the shit that he was doing before he started being a content creator for YouTube. Keep in mind, this nigga's 60. Which means that, from the time of 20 to 60, he spent his Saturday nights talking into a tin can, preparing himself for this bullshit. I don't even know what the fuck this nigga did for the past 40 years every Saturday night. But okay, let's just say he did some lame shit, Let's just say he did something equally lame, or like he was listening to an older nigga talk, but in person. Let's just say he did that. So basically what you're saying is you're wasting your youth, and one day you will grow up to be BGS. You will grow up to be a, what is it, a MGTOW monk, and there's nothing really wrong with MGTOW, who talks about pussy and tells people that they should get with fat bitches, but you're a monk. Anyway, is that what you want for yourself? Very few people who are not 60 themselves should spend their Saturday nights doing whatever the fuck it is 60-year-old people are doing. Now, don't get me wrong. Every now and again, you just want to spend time with your parents or grandparents or something like that, and you may do a bingo night with them. I've done it. My father's 60. I've done it. Father's 60. He likes bingo and he likes casinos. I've done it. But if somebody were to ask, how did I spend my weekend? I would say that I spent it with my father doing something that he likes. And that's what you're all doing. You are looking for father figures from somebody who is not your father, nor a good role model. What What advice do you have to prepare you for the future? Ladies,
Well,
gentlemen,
I was going to say, I
go
kind of
ahead.
maybe see a bit of a kind of like a Bill Cosby for the Black YouTube kind of kind of dynamic,
Okay.
you know, where you know, uh, he kind of does play a father figure to a lot of people,
Right.
you know. I mean, I'm indifferent to the guy. I mean, I think pretty much at this point everybody kind of knows the battles we've had, and you know, we're kind of just on whatever terms. So, I mean, I'm being completely impartial. I'm just giving you my objective viewpoint, and it is the reason why largely like it's as though most people don't really maybe see like you know a level of infallibility, right? Where I brought up so many times where he completely contradicted himself or was just outright wrong, right? But he's a master teacher, so you know then and I thought it was kind of interesting on the discussion earlier where it was like, well, on his platform it goes one way, on he's on your platform, then you can you know treat him how as he treats you or whatever. And I said, no, it doesn't go that way, because when he's on your platform, I mean, there's times where he doesn't want to engage, right? But it's like, yeah, feel free to go engage on his. And sometimes I'm like, you're on my turf. I mean, but as a man, I don't take it as anything. I don't think that I'm besmirching my father or some shit. He's a man. So am I. And we have viewpoints about how the world operates. He's older. He thinks I'm younger than I actually am. That's kind of an error of his. But so sometimes when there's disagreements, you know, I stand firm. And like I said, it is what it is, right? But for a lot of people, there's a level of maybe like fatherly guidance or something to get from. That's kind of just from what I've observed.
Okay. Fair enough. And I agree that he has that in common with Bill Cosby in the 80s. However, did Bill Cosby ever ask people to call him master teacher?
He says he doesn't. He says people call him that. So I mean, it's not a name that he bestowed upon him. So he says people call him that.
Okay, so people just randomly started calling him master teacher. What was Bill Cosby's overall message to Black Americans? Like through things like the Cosby Show, what was his end game as presented?
Hmm. From my growing up watching the Cosby's, you got pardon me, man. I'm in the middle of kind of eating a little bit, so I was trying to space out. But from my observation of the Cosby's, he was always trying to project. Um, I would say an upwardly progressive and progressive family unit and structure. You know, he tried to project like the best potentials and outcomes in Black people. He tried to project a higher level of civility, project a higher level of class. So that we can see ourselves in a different light and then say, hey, look, we hope to kind of incorporate certain things and emulate that in our lives. So that was largely what you took away from the Cosby Show. Now his outside exploits are subject, but yeah.
Okay, and what about BGS's? What would you say his end game is?
I mean, I don't know. I don't know because you know, um, I don't really view like I don't really view the manosphere much like how a lot of people look at it, right? So I don't really fashion myself to be a content creator per se. Not myself. I contribute to another platform, but I myself, I just I'll upload like just general interest stuff, right? But
Right.
so there's no end in the game for what it is that I choose to contribute on YouTube. For
Well, you want to raise black men's economic awareness, right?
oh yeah, through the Brain Trust, absolutely,
Right,
yes.
through the brain
That's
trust.
where that's right, yeah. But I mean, like on my personal channel, you know, you're not going to see none of that type of stuff. But yeah, that's what I hope to do.
Right.
Yep.
So could it be safe? You know, I have a theory. Want you to follow this with me. Is it possible that having a audience is his end game?
I mean, I think it's very possible because I mean, for a lot of the older established YouTubers, and again, this is just me being objective. You know, there's a lot of talk about who are the fathers of this manosphere, this, and I mean, I really did. I have zero opinions on that because I don't know. I kind of just I sort of see like information that you put out there probably having, for me anyway, it has far more importance than who is what, right? I mean, I'll leave that discussion for other people to have. But what determines that largely is subscriber base. So you know, you're not, um, and this is being talked about on the previous thing. You know, you're not. They say, okay, well, you know, you have to build your following. You have to build your channel. And all this type of stuff. I mean, I don't know. I really don't have an intention of building my channel. You
Nor do
know,
I. Right.
right? You know, what I mean, that's not really the intent. So if that's really not what my intention is, I mean, so are my points less valid as a result of this? But you know what I mean? This should, okay, I guess, I mean, maybe my points are more valid if I have 10,000 subscribers, or maybe 15. Then maybe we're taking me a little more seriously. But if I have like my little measly 181, well, then, you know, any facts or figures that I speak to with regards to global trade or anything like that, I guess it's meaningless, right?
Well, it means that you have a smaller sphere of influence, but
Yeah.
you actually, but the ability to influence others is power, and power is a means, not an end. You have an end to your desire to gain a broader sphere of influence, which I think is noble.
Mhm.
Um, but there are those who do not seem to have an apparent end to it. They just want to expand it, you know, just to have it. I mean, there is a need for certain individuals to feel relevant in the world that they live in. In fact, that's part of the hierarchy of needs. There is that need to do it. I think it's like the second from the top. Um, there is that need to do it, and sometimes it does not have an end. Is my point, or that the end is a nefarious one. But the reason why I did this video is because I do not think, well, it's twofold. And because I actually, when I heard the response, I heard it last night. And then like later this morning, I'm like, okay, I'll respond to that in the morning. I'll actually record what I was doing while this was going on and then ask the audience the question, who is lame? But then Rude did his podcast. Shout out to Rude. He's on now. Rude did a podcast, and you know he was just talking about older YouTubers and younger YouTubers and how their message isn't ours. And you know he was basically just shitting on them hard. Y'all know how Rude do. And I was thinking like, but he was just the way Rude was talking was he was just calling them lame and them niggas is getting no pussy. You know, y'all know how much Rude like pussy and talk about pussy. You know, them niggas is not getting any pussy and shit like that. And I was like, you know something? It's fucked up, but I was about to do the exact same fucking thing. I was about to say the exact same shit. Primarily because it's true, but mainly because that is just a pattern of behavior that black men fall into when dealing with conflict and controversy. For example, the Obsidian C Boogie thing, that's where the whole select non-select thing was born. And today Rule was following suit on that. He was basically like, Rule says he's more select than these guys who his detractors. So I was like, damn. And I was really about to go down that path, but I'm like, but I was so against it when C Boogie did it. Um, and many of y'all probably heard, when me and C Boogie had the thing on that. Shout out to C Boogie, by the way. And I'm like, something, I don't want to do that. I don't want to have this be a pussy gathering contest at all. Um, because that's not what my show is about. And when aggravated, I was going to take it there at least for last night. But I'm like, something, I'm not going to do that this time. What I am going to do is say that the people who are spending their Saturday nights listening to him should make better use of their youth and of their time. And I'm not saying that going out attempting to gather pussy is the best use of your time, you know, but I am saying that that is the absolute worst use of your time. What you were doing last night was the absolute worst possible use of your time. Do you actually sit and listen to drunk niggas speak in real life? Do you actually sit and listen to old niggas speak in real life on a week by week basis? I think that the void of father figures in a lot of young black people's lives, combined with the animosity that black men and black women have towards each other, has given birth to something corrupt. It does not change the fact that you have one life to live, and your Saturday evenings are always better spent than this shit. Always. And I understand from time to time you're bored and you wanna listen to something interesting, and it's the only thing on because let's face it, Saturday night TV is shit because they expect everybody to be out enjoying their best life. So this is what's on. I get it. There's no competition, in the media or anything like that. The bookstores close early. I get it. And sometimes you just don't want to go out. I get it. To do this regularly is very, very disturbing behavior. I hate to say it, but I don't think that a lot of the audience members realize exactly what they seen. Now, also, um, and I was going to label this video this seventh place is not winning. I'm going to repeat that. Seventh place is not winning. So when you have a race, in the Olympics or something like that, and you have the guys from Africa in the front, and you have the guys from Europe in the back, and the nigga that's in last is probably from a Slavic nation of some sort, and he's or maybe somebody from the Netherlands or some shit like that. And then, the Ukrainian guy is like seventh place or some shit like that. And he beat the guy from Norway. Now, he didn't win. The Kenyan guy won. You didn't win, Ukraine. And no matter how much you shit on the Norwegian guy, that doesn't make you a winner. So what I got from the reason why I point this out is what I got from the hangout last night was that these guys who were not in coitus at the time that they were shitting on somebody that they assume wasn't having a active sex life were basically seventh placers who were shitting on whoever they think is in eighth place. to make themselves feel like winners. That does not make you a winner. Calling somebody an incel because you get pussy once a quarter does not make you a winner. It makes you the second loser. Yes, there's always going to be somebody out there that has less sex than you. And for the sake of not even for let's just say it's me. Let's just say it's Game Changer. Let's just say I am the most pussyless getting person in the United States of America, the pussyless getting black man in the United States of America. Let's say that that's who Game Changer is, right? And I'll be your Huckleberry. I'll be that guy. Does that mean you get a lot of pussy? Is that what that means? Is that what that translates into for you?
And if it does, what am I supposed to take away from this?
Exactly. Because what it seems like to me is that you spend your Friday and Saturday evenings, you know, talking about pussy and bragging about getting pussy that you got, you know. That's wow. And the reason why I point this out is because the actual first place people have a greater abundance mindset when it comes to sex, to where there's no real talk or discussion or even desire to shit on anybody, at that level. I'm not talking about like the super players or the jawline niggas. I'm talking about the people who are in healthy relationships where they fuck their wife or girlfriend 3 times a day. I can tell you what those guys are not doing on a Saturday night. So people, you got to do better. I don't think you guys are really like understanding the extent of how pathetic you look. Last night display kind of shows that. It's like, you're hiding your that guy in high school that brags on his dick all the time. Well, he's actually revealing how much he don't get by going around saying, "Oh yeah, you're an incel, you're an incel, you're an incel." You're kind of making yourself look like an incel. And I hate to say it because I don't like to use that word, but there you go. There you go. So, people, there's still hope for you. If you find yourself in that situation, it is a big, beautiful world out there. Please enjoy it. Do not fall into this trap, this master teacher trap. It will be you will look back on it years from now and remember that this is what you did. This is what you did. 1, 2, 3, 100. Let's just say you spent 100 Saturday evenings in your 20s or 30s doing this. That is a fucking tragedy. That is a fucking tragedy. Don't do that. I feel bad for people who are addicted to dumb shit. And, I feel bad for people who are addicted to shit like video games or TV or something like that. Just like this mind-numbing garbage, these fucking idiot boxes or something. I feel bad to people for people like that. Fuck, I feel bad for myself because and that's why I did that fuck you C Boogie video because for getting addicted to content creation and shit like that. I'm gonna get out of this. That's why y'all see me doing less and less, videos and shit. I'm gonna get out of that. but do not let others drag you in like that. Niggas were at home drinking alcohol, calling other motherfuckers pussyless or incels or fucking educated lames. Are you fucking kidding me? The irony is fucking astounding.
We have a penchant for redefining words, or hey, can you turn that down a bit, please? Um, like redefining words, or like giving words our own definition, and then standing on these definitions with some sort of truth or validity, when we've already acknowledged that we've already redefined it for our own purposes. So when I asked, I said, okay, well, what the hell are we defining as a lame? I mean, it's a word that already has a definition.
Mhm.
You know, so I'm not, I personally, again, I'm being objective. I'm not saying that dudes who are sitting on a hangout talking shit about another dude while that other dude was getting laid, I'm not calling them lame, but I mean, I would say that by definition, that would be a more lame maneuver than the dude who was actually getting laid.
Right.
The dude who was getting laid is not lame in this context here.
Right.
He's not the lame.
Agreed. Okay. So I actually, let me put the link in my other channel because I said that I have the link, but I didn't actually have it. So let me do that quick fast. But okay, and I mean, really, no matter what I was doing is less lame. Like if I was on YouTube, like in tights, watching a ballet channel, practicing, that would still be less lame. I shit you not. If I was reading Star Wars, that would still be less lame. If I was listening to an audiobook attempting to learn Spanish, that would still be less lame. If I was at the gym, that would still be less lame.
You know what I did yesterday?
What'd you do?
So I was the mechanic. I was a mechanic for my buddy. You know, I raced go-karts, and so there was a club race, and I went out there with him. I was his wrench, did the setup and all that, and we ended up winning.
And that is less lame. It's not even a matter of pussy. Like, I'm trying to think of something less lame. I'm actually trying to think of something less lame. And you know what I came up with? I shit you not. I came up with a very detailed and specific thing that is less lame. Watching a incense burn, and then when the incense gets to the very tip and is about to go out, taking the hot portion and poking a spider with it. That is the only thing I can think of that is more lame than doing that shit.
Hey, that is pretty lame though.
Yeah, that is lame.
Don't do that
Now,
to the spider.
fortunately for me, I wasn't doing that. I was not.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
but okay. So let's put this to the chat room. Can y'all think of something more lame than listening to a 60-year-old man and his drunken crew talk shit? Let's put it to the chat room. Let me know. I'll put this link in the description box. I'll put the link to this channel in the description box of my other channel. So, because yeah, I gotta hear that. Like, what is more lame? All right.
Can you pull up the definition? Let's explore that. Can you pull up the definition of the word lame? Because I just think that word is thrown around.
Well, yeah. Could you do that for me,
yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah. Hold on
Yeah.
one second. Yeah.
All right. One moment. So I hope you are writing this down while I do this on my other screen, because that is, there are very few things that I'm picturing like in real life. Like when you see drunk people, do you just sit and listen to them attentively? You know,
You know,
especially on
I,
Saturday night.
I had a homie that used to do that, man. When we used to go out,
Uh-huh.
like we'd be out like in Hollywood and shit, and
Uh-huh.
like, and then like the drunk dudes will like, come up to you, like the damn transients or whatever, and they just get to just talking about like some more whatever. And like
Uh-huh.
I had a homie, man, and he used to just love like engaging these dudes in conversation, and like they would say they would say some interesting things on occasion, but largely it was
About
just
aliens and shit and government conspiracies.
yeah, all kind of stuff, man.
Yeah.
But then at the end of the day, though, it was really just kind of for shits and giggles, and I didn't really find much in it. I just used to kind of look at him and shake my head and laugh, like, dude, why do you do this? But um, yeah, sometimes, man, people like to just have they like to chatter. I mean, look. There was a time when I would get on to his hangouts,
Mhm.
and the discussions that we would have were a lot of the discussions that we cover on the brain show, like the space and technology, cryptocurrency, blockchain, all that, and that's where I was engaging. I mean, but once it was made clear that that's not what the subs want to do, we were out.
Right.
Yeah, so I don't know what to talk about. That's why I'm not there. I haven't been there. God knows when. He had us on there, I think, maybe some months back. But outside of that time, I haven't been on there. God knows when. So I don't know what they talk about nowadays.
Yeah, I
Well,
don't
you
either.
apparently.
Well, yeah, apparently, and according to the chat room, somebody, he just did another video with my name in it in his shit. And of course, after everything that went on today, he's not going to let that shit slide. So I expected this backlash, but
Well, yeah, I told you, he felt my apology was half-hearted. So he's always got to get that last. He's always got to get that last piece.
oh, of
But
course,
hey, yeah.
and he has to do it on his channel, so nobody can think of somebody of something more lame than that. And trust me, I had to like go to the deepest depths of my imagination to come up with that spider thing. Like I really did. That is the only thing I could think. And that took imagination. I cannot imagine more lameness. I can't. I can't imagine like, you know, somebody doing something more lame than that.
Hold on,
And,
I got the definition for lame here.
okay.
A person or animal unable to walk normally because of an injury or illness affecting the leg or foot. So, for example, like his horse went lame.
Okay.
Um, uh, an explanation or an excuse, or as far as of an explanation or excuse, unconvincingly feeble. Right.
Okay.
So basically, a person who's unconvincingly feeble. Now, throw educated in front of that.
Yes, I am Lex Luthor, is what they're saying. Or better yet, I am literally Mr. Glass. By both definitions, I would be Mr. Glass. So, according to them, I'm Mr. Glass.
Well, I mean,
Now,
if we're going based off the general definition of what this is all supposed to mean, I suppose.
yeah.
I'm still unclear as to what it is, man. No one's ever been able to like explain it in a way where at least from the syntax standpoint, it makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know. I still don't know what this thing is.
Yeah. Well, it's just shaming language. It's just shaming language that's used.
Well, now that makes some sense.
Yeah. It's just general shaming language to say that this person is socially undesired, at least in the circle or the context that it's used. But it's like, okay, I'm lame and to a group of drunk niggas that listen to 60-year-old men talk on Saturday nights. Okay.
So
Now,
one's lameness is actually subjective.
yeah, exactly. It's very subjective. You know, it's a matter of social standing. You know, I mean, the definition that they were given earlier was socially awkward, but I'm like, okay, well, I guess in some circles, you know, I guess I would be awkward, but so would anybody. You know, I mean, Steph Curry would probably be awkward in, you know, a fucking, you know, um, a physics lab.
Well, okay, but isn't even like uh, social awkwardness, isn't that even somewhat subjective? Like,
Yes,
think about it, depending on your setting, right? Where you're at.
right.
You know, if a kid who's like a part of Mensa is amongst his peers in like some sort of science club, is he socially awkward?
Very likely not. Exactly.
Interesting. Okay. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, I'm just saying. So, you know, since I was at a place with actual people, not online people, last night, and none of them called me lame. So you're right. It depends on the social setting.
Okay.
Okay. So
I mean, I'm trying to pin it down, man. That's all I'm trying to do.
yeah. Well, I mean, like, there's a lot of words that don't actually have the true correct meaning in the Black community. You know, we just put words in shit because it sounds good. For example, the word ass. Black people in general, including myself, because I was raised around Black people, tend to put the word ass in the middle of each and every single insult that they give, even though it doesn't actually fit. You punk ass nigga. Like, I wonder why they put the word ass there. Couldn't they just say punk nigga? I mean, these are, you know, both descriptions, you know, of what you're trying to say about a person. These are both insults. Where does the ass come in at? You know, where does the noun come in at? Why did you put ass there? Pussy ass nigga. Like, well, once again, you know, what's with that? So we don't really look at the meaning. We just say the shit. We just say what sounds good and what gives relevant syllables to a statement that you want to make. You punk ass, bitch ass, pussy ass bitch. You know, we just kind of do shit like that. I think when we're insulting, I think that lame is just like ass.
You know who does that to they almost have like a natural talent. That guy Taz. He does that a lot.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Lame, cornball, coon, and I mean he can. It's almost like it's like an off the head freestyle type of thing.
Exactly.
It's all. I mean, you know, he's done it to me a few times, but I just kind of I have marveled at it actually. But, you know,
it's amazing.
Yeah.
So that's what that was last night. It is very possible that BGS is an older version of Taz. I will not rule that out. I cannot rule that out. That is a very likely possibility. All right, let me read some comments. This is very true. On a macro scale, if you are awkward in the majority of circles, they could call you socially awkward. Very true.
But this is what I mean. The majority of you know how many circles there are? I'll tell you
Yeah.
right now, I'm not in the majority, and I'm not really sure how I would fit in the majority of quote unquote circles. Right?
Well,
There's the circles that are more or less kind of befitting of like kind of like my personality and lifestyle. Okay. And there could be other venues where I just would not probably be perceived. I would receive too well. Does that make me socially awkward, or am I socially awkward based on the setting that I'm in?
well, here's the thing. There are awkward characteristics that are universal. Granted, I'm trying to think of some, but just like when somebody say, "Oh, because being attractive can be subjective as well." However, there are characteristics that are unattractive in each and every single circle.
Yeah.
An example of this would be BMT. Some things it's just universally ugly. You know, um, so there's that. But there are very few things that I can think of that is just universally awkward. And I'm trying to think here. Um, you know, and what I'm coming with is extremes. Um, odor would be one of them. That's
Okay.
very universally awkward. You know, poor hygiene is definitely one of them.
Hygiene, yeah.
Yeah. Now I'm trying to get to like things that are just generally annoying, like abrasive and
Okay. Okay.
yeah.
Okay.
I
Now,
mean, however, those things are welcome in so many circles in the U.S. that
this is my whole point here.
yeah, it's kind of hard to do that.
How are we now determining what socially awkward? I mean, look, okay, I am supposed to recognize people who today are male and then tomorrow say they're female.
Mhm.
Okay, and there's legal precedent that is being set, right, in various levels and in various stages that enforce this. Okay,
Mhm.
is this awkward or not?
Right, right. Good point. Okay, so Amari brought up something interesting. He said the bagel guy is considered socially awkward or even an outcast socially. I'm not entirely because he has his channel where he does the same shit with a pretty large following. Um, Now he's a physical outlier. There are very few people his height. So anything he does in reaction to that is definitely going to be socially different because he's different. You know, I wouldn't necessarily say that his personality is awkward. I think that same type of frustration coming from a different person or a person with a different physicality would not would not have been taken the same way. I think his physical appearance have a lot to do with why he's considered awkward. You know, um, honestly, like I can't think of somebody who's um, let's just say a guy with um, well, I don't want to say. I was going to say a guy with a small penis, but that's also a physical outlier.
Well, let me ask you this: is being a short person that's socially awkward?
Well, it's physically you're a physical outlier, and you're kind of more likely to fall into that physically unappealing category. However, no, it's not socially awkward.
Yeah, I
Just
was gonna
being
say that. I mean, that would be more
yeah,
like vertically challenged, but
right.
socially awkward. I don't know.
Well, his outburst and I think that's what Amari was getting at. That his outburst was a socially awkward thing. It's universally accepted that outbursts like that is socially awkward. But I would disagree with that. When people have legitimate outbursts, it's not considered as socially unacceptable. Black women have outbursts like that all the time, and it's nothing about their physical.
That's just I'm strong and you know
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. So his behavior, if put on somebody with a different physicality, would not be considered an outlier.
Okay, let me ask you this: if you so if you took his personality and you put it in a 6'2", 230-pound jawline frame, would he be an alpha?
Um, I don't know. I would probably be pissed. And I would really, but actually, we would evaluate society at that point because if he is a jawline nigga, then it's like, hey, wait a minute, why does he have complaints? What's going on?
No, I mean just like the hyper, right? Like because he was aggressive, like in terms of like his outbursts, his anger. It was
Oh
it
yeah,
was like you know what I mean. So like, what if you were like just some like a jawline dude, but you was on some like f with me type. You know what I mean? Like okay,
true.
what I'm saying would take him and put him in like LeBron James' body. Would he be an alpha? Or,
Probably, yeah, you're
or
right.
would we be saying the same thing?
We would not be having this conversation. And furthermore, that guy wouldn't have snuck. He snuck them. He
Oh, dude, that was a bitch move.
I'm like, you snuck a 4'11" dude. You snuck him. He was in your face, and then you snuck. I was like, God damn, Now I'm not with the dude, I mean, because I don't know the context, but he seems a little that he requires something from society that he just doesn't have access to. So I mean, I'm not with him or against him, but I do know that you snuck him, nigga. That was some bitch shit,
That was bad. Yeah.
you know. But nah, he wouldn't have snuck LeBron James, Like he wouldn't have snuck Shaq on his heyday.
Mhm.
So yeah. So yeah, the reaction that society had would have been a lot different. Yeah.
Yeah.
Is heavily based on perception. Uh yeah, and you see, when a person has an audience, what they want to do is convince others to perceive you in the way that they do. So that's why they will say something like that, like, to thousands of on listeners. It's like, well, if I say it, then he will become it. Basically, you're attempting to speak something into reality, which is probably what individuals want to do with their YouTube stream, because we still haven't defined like what was the end game.
Well, I was gonna say, yeah, that's see because you have to be unless if you don't have like an actual like hyper focused like result or goal in mind,
Mhm.
then you're kind of privy to like anything manifesting, right?
Yeah, pretty much.
Right. Versus if you have a specific intent on why you're doing certain things, then pretty much all of your energy is going to be directed towards getting that outcome.
Exactly. So yeah, that's the impression I get. That's what I think is going on. But I mean, fellas, it, ladies, gentlemen, people, don't waste your Saturdays like that. Please do not. Do not. I know that, it's very rare that you'll find me on for 8 hours on a Saturday night. It's very rare you'll find C Boogie, like you won't find Rude like that. You won't find AM1 like that. I shit you. You're not going to find people with active social lives doing that shit. And this nigga does it every single fucking Friday and Saturday. You know, just be careful. Do not get drawn into this shit. There is better uses of your time. Tell you the story about how I had to fucking give up video games. It was either put the joystick down or flunk out of college. Shit. I mean, you can't spend your time on useless shit. I mean, what was the game at the time? Halo. You know, shit. Halo is not going to prepare me for the future. It is not. It's not going to increase my quality of life. It was fun as fuck, but at the end of the, and this was part one. I don't know. They're like on part 5 or 6 now or something like that. This was a long time ago. So you know, um, I don't even know where they're at, but I do know that it's still a thing. because I had it in the break room at a place I used to work. But my point is that do not waste your evenings on bullshit like this. Like one or two is fine, but you have 510 to 530 weekends in a decade. Do use them wisely. Use them wisely. And I know it's difficult, but start somewhere and then move on. Like if you told me that, like, oh man, I was bored Saturday night. I really just, went in the garage and, and punched a puncher bag for a few hours, Hey, that's more productive. Hopped on a treadmill, or just went to the gym in general. That's more productive. Worked on a go-kart, and we won the race. That's more productive.
And if you guys want to check that out, well, you know what? I'll just get the link and post it.
Yeah, just post the link.
Yeah.
Help my daughter with cheerleading, that's more productive. This shit is just getting out of control. What I seen yesterday, I was like, oh my God, these niggas is doing this, All right, let's see. Yeah, it's heavily based on perception, true. It's not like there are universal truths for looks, but like the guy with the height thing, it's kind of like universal that taller is preferred amongst men, just like larger boobs are preferred amongst women. That's a universal, but there are very few universals in which socially. I mean, of course, hygiene and shit like that, and then spitting on babies or something like that. I mean, but I don't do any of those things, so there's that. I don't have any of those problems, I should say. He would be considered someone with anger management issues. Yes. BGS ego is getting hurt as he aged. That's why he's doing streams for attention, because he feels lonely. He, just like the rest of the aging population without kids, spending time with them. Yes. The baby boomers are suffering from their fuck ups. Their fuck ups as children and their fuck ups as parents. And it's going to get worse. Why is it going to get worse? Is because they're about to be in retirement age. Now, many of them didn't work. They were the ones to take advantage of this welfare culture, divorce culture, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. The time is going to come for their retirement. And not only did they not bore enough kids to sustain because they're a baby boom, meaning that there were a lot more of them than there were of the previous generation. There was a lot of them. And there isn't many of the generations to follow. And these are the generations that will pay the taxes for their Social Security and shit, but it's more of them than us, and this shit's just going to, fucking implode on them. I shit you not. It is going to implode on them. They're going to find the workplace particularly hostile towards an aging population. And trust me, they got some Job shit coming for them. They got some Job shit coming from them. I mean, you understand the economy better than I do, Complex, but I could kind of see it happening. And then, they also created a culture that don't give a fuck about putting them niggas in a home, all kind of shit. It's all kind of fucked up coming for them. And yeah, and then there's a loneliness factor too. All right, let's see. All right, so what's this? Your go-kart thing?
Yeah, that was one of the heat races we ran, and I was just standing out on the side filming it.
Right.
So I wanted to get at this certain corner where we were having a lot of issues with the cart. So I wanted to stand right by there and film it as it kept coming around and see like what it was doing. So yeah, that was we ran there, and then some other team members ran. They did the larger pro kart race up in the marina, and we won that one. So it was a pretty productive weekend, man.
Okay, cool.
Yep.
But Yeah, like I hear about stuff like that too. Like actually, it was this very weekend um, that somebody was telling me about a garlic festival that they have here in Northern California, and
That's in shoot. Man, me and my dad, we were just talking about that.
yeah, it's funny. So yeah, it's something that happens in
Yeah,
California. I
yeah,
think yeah, I
yeah.
think that it's not my thing, but because well, actually, I probably would spend a day at a garlic festival if I want to get out of the house and do something. But they said something like garlic ice cream, and I was like, what the? I would not eat that shit ever. You know,
It's supposed to
uh,
be like a savory. It's supposed to be like a savory type of thing. And you know the other thing too, dude. Okay,
uh-huh.
a garlic festival. That's not something you do every weekend, right? That
Right?
goes on like like literally once a year, maybe, or and then
Yeah,
you say, hey, look, 2 months from now the garlic festival's coming up, and then you kind of make a plan to maybe hit it up.
yeah. It
Yeah.
was like the tomato festival, festival at the lake. I don't know if
Yep.
you come to Oakland
No,
sometimes.
no, no. Yeah, I know exactly where that's at. Yep.
Yeah,
That like.
yeah, festival at the. I mean, so like people who do things like this, and I'm talking about the people who are actually making the garlic ice cream the night before. You know, hey, some people may consider that lame, but it's like, look, what's lame? Actually making garlic ice cream, which a lot of people would never eat, are talking bad about people who are making garlic ice cream. They're doing stuff. And I think the lamest of all is listening to somebody talk about the garlic ice. I mean, I cannot get that over my head. Like, there is a lame hierarchy
You,
going on here,
you know what's even more lame than that?
What's that?
I bet you could get a chick to go with you to a fucking garlic festival easier than you could with all this other shit that these dudes be talking about. If you really think about it.
Oh, so you're saying that chicks don't go for the whole BGS and chill?
I mean, I'm not saying that
Like,
there are. I'm not saying
you're saying
that
that-
I'm, I'm not saying that there there are that don't. But
okay.
what I'm saying is that you know I don't know, man. I don't know if it's just if you haven't if it's because you haven't lived or lived a little or what exactly. But like you know if for all the complaining about like women and stuff and all that, and I'm not even trying to digress here, but you would think that something as benign as or lame, quote unquote, is a garlic festival. I do. There's like no shortage of chicks that would not go with me if I asked them to go.
Exactly. Because it's interesting, it's something that they haven't done before. It's interesting. It's out the house. It is not lame. It is not lame. But that's my take on that, on what lame is and isn't. I'm picturing like across the street from a garlic festival, a bunch of niggas with 40s in their hand, listening to an old nigga saying, "Look at them lame ass niggas at the garlic festival. Huh, they're lame." You know, like, wait a minute, you don't see what's going on here?
Like I
So
said, man, this stuff is it's subjective.
right, right, very very much so. Triple X, I sent it to you.
Which kind of actually then begs the bigger question, man. I mean, like, so what is there to, because we kind of touched on this on, I think it was King Sigma's hangout earlier, but I mean, what sort of resolution is one to seek out of something like this?
What do you mean?
Well,
I mean,
well,
resolution implies that there's an end goal that.
if we're to go on the assumption that uh, certain activities which are normal by normal standards is somehow lame in black culture,
then what's the method of reconciliation then? How do we say, okay, so what do you make some sort of like offshoot black culture, right? That's kind of more accepting of like kind of broadening our palettes.
Yeah, I think so. I
Oh,
mean, but if you do that, you have to do it with the understanding that the standard black, the conventional black culture, the mainstream black culture, will frown upon it because what you're doing is you're challenging the black norm. Like if you create a black culture that goes to garlic festivals, then the standing black culture will then become, you know, less of a draw.
Hmm.
So of course they're going to call that lame. Like, if you create a society where black men have standards, then the black men who have been sleeping with overweight women all of these years will not find comfort in that society. So yeah, that's part of changing a social norm. I mean, people who enjoy the standing norm and the standing social hierarchy that comes with it are going to feel left out. But yeah,
Hmm.
and it's unfortunate. It is unfortunate how unactive or inactive or whatever you want to call it, black people are.
Bro, there's people that have like been born and raised in LA, right? And they've never gone to the beach.
Yeah, things like that.
Yeah. Yep.
You know, things like that is very very disturbing. Because I don't know. I gave y'all the story. I don't know if you heard it about the black chick who I used to work with. Um, who was extremely attractive, and she was with a white dude. Um, but she was into mountain biking, mountain climbing, and she had a list of interests that I did not have, and these interests are consistent with white dudes. So it stands to reason that that's who she would wind up with.
Well,
Now, black people in general don't have many interests.
okay, that's it. That's the other thing. Okay, that's it's very interesting, right? Because you know, we don't seemingly outside of kind of like the tried and true, right?
Mhm.
Your typical sports, um, entertainment, you know, um, and then the celebrity stuff. I mean, really, kind of, we're sort of base level. I mean, I hate to kind of paint us in such a in such a basic tone,
No,
but
it's true.
no, I mean, but I'm saying no to add a layer of of gray to this. Um, there's also been a lot of brothers um, and sisters, for that matter, that I've met that have had unique skills and talents and have done amazing things.
Right.
Okay, you see, so but what we find is that they're kind of just hidden amongst like the tapestry of like black culture, right? They're not like your light beacons, you know.
Well, yeah, no. You're talking about like the Venus and Serena's type.
No. I'm talking about like your like your it's like your black math teachers who but if you got them in a room and you really talk to them, they would actually show their math geniuses. This is just
Mhm.
their day job. You
I
know,
see what you're saying.
you know what I mean? It's like I've been able to. This is why this is kind of just kind of just give you sort of the makeup of where I stand with a lot of this shit. It's like I've seen both sides of it, right? I've seen extreme excellence and I've seen extreme ignorance, and we consciously pursue both, right? See,
Okay.
so for all of the oh well, it was this legislation that was passed, and it was this that happened, and then the crack just showed up, and then we didn't know we didn't know it was we were going to get so addicted to it, and oh yeah, we were selling it,
And I mean, dude, like, have we ever just kind of stopped and said, pause? Why is it why is it that as if it seems like other people are like one or two steps ahead of you? And so they kind of do things based on sort of like a foreknowledge or a foretold sort of knowing that you're just going to do these types of things. Otherwise, like, why would they put the laws there if they didn't think that a good portion of you just going to walk right into that shit?
Well, I'm gonna be honest. The whole crack thing, that's just some boomer bullshit. That is some baby boomer bullshit. We didn't know.
I watched it happen in LA, bro.
I watched it in Oakland. Those niggas knew. Nigga, were they just putting random shit up their noses? And then they're like, oh shit, we didn't know that this would do that. Y'all just stuck random
I mean,
shit.
have you done that in your have you done that, Game Changer?
What, put random shit up my nose and
Yeah,
say,
yeah.
I said, oh damn, I didn't know that crack would have this effect. I was just putting
you haven't, because I haven't done that either. I was just wondering, if that's happened to you?
Well, nor did I sell random chemicals to people and said,
you haven't done that either?
No.
Oh, okay. I thought I was like the only one.
Now, here is more. What's up, Triple X? Hold on right quick, Triple X. This is what actually happened. This is a scene from New Jack City, where G Money was explaining to BGS. He was like, "Look, I put 4 of them, in the basement with a hit of the bass, and then 20 minutes come back." 20 minutes later, they come back with 3 or 4 or 5 of their friends. They didn't come back for the cocaine. They came back for the bass. And the bitches, Lord, the bitches. I get my Jimmy sucked every day, several times a day. They knew exactly what they was putting up niggas' noses. And now here we are years later, I didn't know. We have no way of knowing.
All one has to do is this is the beauty of like things like cinema and stuff, right? It captures a moment in time. It's created, but it captures it nonetheless. And what it does is it reflects the reality of the time.
Exactly. But yeah, but my point is
not made up, man.
That's just some fucking baby boomer bullshit. We didn't know about the effects of crack. We was just selling it. Hey, well, you knew the effects. You knew the extent that the lengths that they would go to get it. Jesus Christ. You even made a song about it. I mean, what the fuck?
How do you? There's no way in hell.
Self-destruction. You're headed for self-destruction. And y'all still did this shit, nigga. We didn't know. Kill yourself, old niggas. What's going on, Triple X?
Well, what have I walked into here? Man, salute to the panel. What's up, Complex? What's up, Game Changer?
What's going on?
Good, man. What's going on?
Man, I haven't heard like all of what you guys have been discussing. I just seen a link in the Google chats and came in not too long ago. I scrolled through the chat and seen BGS name mentioned, and it's funny. I just got a notification from BGS, and your name was in the title, Game Changer. So I got a feeling what this stream might be about.
Yeah, you know how it is. I'm telling you, this nigga just keep coming for him. I have no idea. Why. But he just keep at it. This nigga is relentless. But
man, what was this a new beef or like I don't want to rewind the whole discussion today. This was a new beef or just something out of the blue.
Yeah, nah. Nigga had my name in his mouth last night.
Okay.
The epitome of educated lame, basically. But see,
it's okay.
Yeah, so this extended to King Sigma's channel. But see, here's the thing: people are under the impression that I was upset, and it was disturbing, but it was brought to my attention because he called me that. You know, like I don't listen to his things like that. So it was brought to my attention. You know, shout yourself out, the person who called it if you're in the chat room. It was brought to my attention through one of my subscribers that my name is in his mouth. But see, here's the thing: I don't really think that black men should call other black men educated lame. I think that especially if you're older,
Yeah,
I think yeah.
yeah, I agree with you, Game Changer, because I was having this discussion with some other guys locally not too long ago, and I was saying, yeah, because that term "educated lame" doesn't even exist in other races. You know, that's just it's just simply a high level guy. Yeah, it's just.
Would you say it was Game Changer? It's a shaming language. It's not an actual. It's not an actual. Like, it's not a thing. It's not an actual thing. And if you even look at, see, that's what I mean. We have to start to use our heads here when we're using language, because it's not an actual thing. It's mere shaming language.
Shaming tactics, yeah. Shaming language. Yeah. I would agree with that complex for sure. That's exactly what it is. I mean, because an educated lame in any other race, that's what a woman wants. You know? Exactly. Yeah, that's exactly what she wants. She's in her late 20s. She's trying to get married for sure. That's at the top of her list. If she ain't getting some rich guy, that's at the top of her list, period.
Right. Well, this wasn't women. This wasn't women calling me that. This was men.
Black. This wasn't like the women's panel or nothing like this. This was the Saturday show. I got you.
Yeah, this was the Saturday show. This was black men where black men, not like yourself, but where black men like to drink and get together and listen to a 60-year-old man while they just, act like they're in a fucking arena, a verbal arena. That's how they like to spend their Saturday nights. So that's what was going on. And when it was brought to my attention, I was like, okay, that's what that's about. So, I was going to do a response video, but I was listening to Black Blame Trust earlier, and BGS was on it. And BGS was talking about black women who were calling black men educated lame. He was talking down on the women who were doing this. Or they were using like educated lame as toxic masculinity, something like that.
Oh, okay.
And I'm thinking like, wait a minute. You just, so I called out his hypocrisy. So, I'm pretty sure he got his name in my mouth on some other shit right now. Somebody said that he did an 18 video with my name in the title. So, I don't, huh?
No, I was going to say, yeah, I just seen a video pop up in my notification. I haven't watched it yet, though.
Yeah, I haven't either. But, I knew something like that was coming because, I mean, how this nigga is. He just cannot. He just cannot take an L because, he's been taking them for so long. I mean, I think, kind of like you outgrow ass whoopings. I think that he thinks that you outgrow L's. I think that he has been taking L's throughout his entire fucking life. And he think that he has outgrown them. But the only way to outgrow L's is to stop L'ing. And he hasn't.
Yeah, man. I mean, whoa, man. I'll say this from observing the thing. I seen the collision coming like way before it even happened between you guys. It just kind of was inevitable, man. Just stylistically, the way you guys putting out content. I just seen a collision happening eventually between you guys of this magnitude. So I can't say I'm surprised.
I honestly did not see it coming because I did when I became a content provider, it was it was through C Boogie. C Boogie suggested it, and
Yeah, I remember seeing you on the C Boogie panels. Yeah.
yeah, exactly. And and most of the audience was like, "Hey, Game Changer, you should do your own thing,"
Right.
because of the way C Boogie and I's chemistry was just bouncing off each other, And then
Right.
C Boogie hit me behind the scene with it, So I was like,
Yeah.
all right, So I came with that. I came under that, and C Boogie don't really have anything to do with BGS. So I'm not even thinking, like the thought of BGS did not really cross me.
Yeah. No, I was just gonna say, I don't want to interrupt you, but yeah, I was gonna say, yeah, I don't think it stems from when you were on C Boogie, but like, just like once you start putting out content, the content was good, and having those type of lives and those discussions, and and having an intellectual standpoint, and you actually start discussing like boomer stuff and things of that nature, and I started watching the content. And at that point, I was like, if it continues on this path, that's likely a collision is likely to happen. What's going to happen? That's what I was thinking to myself, at least at the time.
Okay.
But go ahead.
No. Well, you are a better prognosticator than I am, because I was not thinking of, like, throughout my entire thing until he came to me. Because I don't really listen to his lives. Not that I'm like opposed to it. It's just that they're very long. So and I generally won't catch his Friday show or a Saturday show, really. So it's just one of those things. Now I do listen to his regular videos, and I like his take on the show Insecure. And I like his automation thing. I mean, so that was all I really, knew and understood about him. Like, okay, he comes with shit, about automation that's, perhaps not 100%, but, I could definitely agree that automation is a cause of joblessness more than immigration is concerned. So, that is how I seen him. And then out of nowhere, he comes at me with some weird shit.
Well, I mean, yeah, man. The shots was fired at that point, man. I mean, I like a lot of the content he has put out, but like the Octane series, the Insecure breakdown, the automation stuff is good. Some of the stuff he talks about with Africa, in China, No, I see what you're saying. Go ahead, Game Changer.
No, but that's where I'm coming from. So and then all of a sudden, I'm just the lamest nigga alive. Or educated lamest. I'm like, what the fuck?
I think you know what it is, man, and like, I ain't about to get off into names and stuff, but like I done seen, because I've seen a lot of his panels and stuff. I think your name has probably come up in the discussion before when people have made points about things that's being discussed. And eventually it's got folded in to a lot of discussion or some discussion over there. So at that point, he probably looked more into your content. And at that point, the rest is history. What can I say?
And now we here,
Yeah, now we here. I mean, that's just how it happens sometimes. Complex, man. What you got to say about this?
I don't know. I don't really have nothing to say.
Yeah, I know you already.
No, I mean, dude, because like a lot of this shit kind of like reminds me of like fucking high school.
Yeah.
I really don't care about stuff that you know what I mean. It's like,
yeah, it's
high school, because I mean, it's like, when do you hear 60-year-old men call somebody else a nerd? Like, I mean, that's something that you do in high. You don't really hear like that word used by adults. In fact, in the 90s, there was an episode of The Simpsons where Homer had to go back to college to get the degree to have his job in a nuclear power plant. And he, when he got there, because he's been watching like a lot of 80s movies before he went to college, he just assumed that there was this like jock nerd thing and he started calling everybody nerds and shit. And then he said to the black kid who was a college student, he said, "Hey, did you get a load of these nerds?" And the black, he's like, "Pardon me? Like, what the hell are you talking about?"
Yeah, I agree with both of you guys. I just like to see, like, if you got qualms with somebody or whatever, I'm just speaking, and I'm not saying you, but I'm just saying, like, instead of somebody make videos or whatever, just go challenge the guy. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, hey, I've been watching your content. You know, this is what bothers me, or this what gets under my skin. Let's debate this. You know, or make some videos attacking the points or something.
But hold up, complex. I did. Don't come at me like that. I did exactly that.
No, I know you did. I'm speaking. I would be speaking to the other side.
Well, I did exactly that. You know, like
I think the debate y'all
I
had.
challenged him. I said, "Look, you know, let's have a debate on a neutral platform." He said, "Well, let's do it on your channel." I'm like, "Okay, we do it on my channel." We had it out. That was it. You didn't hear shit since.
Right.
Then next thing you know, last night I'm the lamest nigga. I'm like, God damn. Why do you want to go and do that?
Yeah. It seemed like he should have just called you out for another debate or something, man. Yeah. No, I see.
About what?
Yeah,
whatever that's bothering. Something, you know, like what sparked this conversation last night? I guess that would be my question.
Somebody said my name. Somebody said my name. He said, "Is there hope for Game Changer?" Next thing you know, it was about how much pussy I get, and then how much swag. Oh, God, this nigga actually said swag. Keep in mind that this is a 60-year-old nigga. You know how much swag I do or don't have, and then you know I am the definition of lame. So, I mean, I think that you are assuming that there is a highbrowness to these conversations, that there is a rationale that leads to these, you know, highbrow discussions. But it's not. It's just a bunch of drunk niggas talking shit on a Saturday night for 8 hours. You know, that's exactly what's going on. And I was looking at it dumbfounded, like, you know, wow, there's 200 and something people watching. Like, damn, there is so much that they could be doing. It is so, you know, and I'm like, do not waste your life, you know, getting him off, because that's what they're doing. You know, they're you know, feeding his ego. But you're wasting your Saturday night doing that. So, you know, that's the crux of it. I mean, that in addition to, once again, I do not think that black men should call each other lame. Or excuse me, I don't think that I don't mind black people call each other lame. I don't think that we should say educated lame. I think that
I agree with you.
It is lame when it is applicable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, like what? Like, God damn it! I'm not talking about you guys, but Jesus Christ! Like, why? Okay, so why do we literally have to like take 3 steps backwards to take 1 forward? Like, I'm even talking about all the way on down to how we think and act. Like, there's like some serious like just rudimentary like behavior correction like we need to do in terms of like our thought processes, like how we like even perceive shit and stuff, dude. It's like lame has a specific definition. Call things what they are.
Yeah. Hey, complex. I couldn't agree with that anymore, man. I couldn't articulate it any better than you just said.
True.
Next thing you know, it's like, okay, you know, I asked for a chair and you bring me a cup, and I go, why did you give me a cup? Well, this is what we call them chairs. Okay, what?
Yeah, bad means good.
Okay, there you go. Let's think of some more. Let's think of some more.
Well, fat is a good thing.
Wait, what?
Fat is a good thing.
Oh, okay, okay. Interesting. What else?
Yeah. I don't know. I can't think anymore. Y'all gotta put up sweat. Yeah.
Yeah, let's see here. Single motherhood's natural.
Hmm.
You know.
Exactly. I mean, so and that's what's happening. So basically, we have people, who are creating who are controlling the black culture. You know, there is a black agenda, particularly on the female side. To basically control the mating standards of black men,
Yeah,
and there
yeah.
are black
I,
men,
I would agree wholeheartedly with that.
right?
Agreed. Yeah,
And
yeah,
one of the tactics, and this is what I'm going to put in my and this is what I'm going to put in my BFF app. Look for it in the Android App Store. Fuck iPhone people. But one of the things I am going to incorporate in that is sexual shaming.
yeah,
Sexual shaming is like, really, that's one of the most common shaming tactics. Remember, blame, shame, and insane is the three major ones. The common one is shaming. From black women, that is almost a knee jerk. That's why you ain't getting no pussy.
yeah.
What? I mean,
Even
and why is this okay? Why is that relevant? First and foremost,
Yeah, yeah. Good question, Complex. Why is that even?
I would feel more offended if you told me that's because you're not productive, and you could point to like proof of that.
Yeah,
Mhm. Because we as black men measure our worth on our sexual prowess, and when I say we, I'm talking about just a run of the mill black man. I don't, I mean, so which is why that does not have effect on me. However, we're seen as sexual people. Where other groups, particularly Asian ones and Oriental ones, shout out the truth. There is a difference, as Zone can attest. There is a difference, but particularly those from the Orient do not have such things. And of course, Asian people from India and the Middle East. They will openly tell you that I have not had sex in years, or I am still a virgin in my mid-20s without any shame.
right.
But in the black community, that's a very shameful thing because women determine our value. You know, we
Yeah,
should not listen to this man because he didn't have sex. And I am not going to give sex to a man who I don't like what he says. Therefore, the only men you should listen to is the one that we give our pussy of approval to.
yeah,
And it's gotta be black pussy because then it's like, oh, he's seen white women.
They,
He's
they,
seen
they
white
shoot,
women.
they
He's
shoot you
seen,
down.
yeah.
Well,
You shouldn't listen
should
to
the
him.
should the concern be more of the color of the woman or the fact that she's a woman? I mean, because it could be something else, right? Like what
You
I
can,
mean, like if she's a white,
yeah.
you know what I mean? It's like okay, it's a woman nonetheless.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah. It ain't like it's a man or something. It's a
I mean,
damn.
Jesus.
Well, they
Yes.
would rather that, as long as you're speaking, as long as you're speaking black matriarchal talking points, it doesn't really matter. I mean, like take Phil, for example. Notice how they just shut the fuck up when Phil was talking to me about reparations. All of a sudden he's blacker than I am. He's blackity black, black, black. But it's like, wait a minute, I am with a darker skinned black female, who is West African, not East or North. But all of a sudden, this dude is, so it's all about talking points. It's
Yeah,
all about talking points. As long as you speak, pro matriarchy, you know, then they're okay with you.
yeah, man. I just like to say, yeah, I agree with you Wholeheartedly on that. Exactly. And I think one thing that kind of has triggered a lot of people, Game Changer, man. I don't know if you know it or not, man, but like that boomer talk, man. Like, I mean, you hit with some real points and solid facts in a lot of those videos, man. So, I mean, you witnessing some of the pushback to that. Like, but instead of actually trying to counter those talking points, a lot of it's coming in other ways, though.
What do you mean, communist talking points?
No. I said, I said instead of people like attacking those talking points from those boomer videos, it's coming back in other ways, is what I'm saying.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
Well, the boomer. Well, I mean, I shouldn't say always, but I have felt this way about boomers for a long time. You know, at least 10 years. But I really first mentioned it with BGS, because when we had the debate, BGS was like, it's because of us, the civil rights, blah blah blah, and I was like, that's bullshit, nigga. You was 4 years old when civil rights was initiated. That is bullshit. That is some more boomer bullshit, So that's when the whole, and that's when I really started to point out how I felt about that generation. But it came after the BGS thing, at least as far as I know. I mean, because I always felt this way, it may have came out in like small bursts, but I really went in hard afterwards,
Okay. Yeah, I wasn't sure. I know me, you, and Black Uwu was talking about it a couple times or whatever. So I do remember that.
Right.
But yeah. Okay, I got you.
Yeah, actually, nah. You know something? It probably was because it probably was before, because I remember that we were talking, and then and then Gab was talking some real simp shit. Black Guru.
Yeah.
So I made an old school simping series. But I wasn't saying boomers by name, but I was saying old school simping shit. Yeah. So yeah, it did start a little bit before that. And yeah, maybe that triggered him. I don't know.
But I remember some of that content, man, and yeah, that's certainly a possibility, man. Certainly a real possibility. And you notice, like I was a little surprised, but I didn't see I know you mentioned Gab before. I didn't see all of the stuff Gab put out. You said Gab put some stuff out he took down, but yeah, man, I mean, that content, that type of content, man, it triggered a lot of people.
Yeah. Okay. I'll say that, but the old school simping thing, Gab and I squashed that immediately, He was on the next day, and I was like, look, I don't even see you that way. I told him straight up, I'm like, look, you're a dude that got married at 25 to a woman with no BFF. And it's hard for you to see what's going on with everybody else.
And I agree with that. I told Gab that before on another discussion, verbatim what you just said.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I forgot what panel we was on. Somebody's like a while ago, but I'm like, it's tough for you to relate.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that was it, and forgot all about it. And remember, the whole old school simping thing was a part 1. I didn't even do part 2 or 3 or anything. The shit just was let go,
Yeah.
It was BGS that re-sparked this whole, this. I'm like, wait a minute, because I'm telling you, I always had this "fuck you, boomer" shit in my head, but I didn't really like call it by name. I wasn't like boomer until BGS. And this nigga was about to try to take credit for the civil rights movement where he was 4, nigga. Fuck that. Not on my watch. You're a fucking boomer that didn't do shit. So
Yeah, I mean, hey man, I like to say hey, you guys already done debated, so I mean I can't really say you should call him out. You already done did it, so yeah, man. Like I said, I haven't watched none of the content of the videos from last week, but I just seen a notification. But well, what can
yeah,
I say?
we already debated he can't take a L. That's the thing, you know. Like
Yeah.
it was over. It was supposed to have been over. This man cannot take a L, you know. So
Yeah.
that's why he came at me like that. But it's not a matter of coming at me though. You know, it's a matter of, you know, look, black men should not be calling other black men educated lames. That should, you know, nobody else is going to do that. No one else conflates educated with something negative. Not
You got
even
that
black
right.
women,
Yeah,
especially black women. They do not say, "Oh no, she's lame because she's educated." Even the ones who aren't educated say we're
Strong if
educated.
you're educated and you're female.
Yeah, exactly.
You're strong.
Yeah,
If you're a
exactly.
male and you're educated, you're lame.
yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, there can be no educated lame female. That's facts, Complex.
Yeah. Nor can there be an educated lame Asian person, nor can there be an educated lame white person, nor can there be an educated lame Latin person.
Yeah, just can't
Nope.
have.
Only a black man can be educated lame. And so I understand why the rest of society would do it. I would not understand for the life of me why, you know, why another black man would do that. Why black men would do that to another black man. I could not understand that. And that's why, you know, I was upset on Sigma's panel, but more so because, you know, he was talking about, oh yes, that's something that black women do to hold us back. Like, nigga, you doing it. It's like weird that you don't remember that you just used that word, you know, to shame another black man. It's like y'all seen the movie, I use a lot of movie references and stuff, but y'all seen the movie well, not Why Did I Get Married? The Best Man 2, The Best Man Holiday.
No, I haven't seen that.
Okay, so basically a bunch of brothers, what's his name? Dude that play on Empire. Shit, what's his name?
The
Light skinned dude. All right, so you have Lorenz, no, not Lorenz Tate. You have damn, I can't think of it right now. Yeah, Morris Chestnut, but who's the light skinned dude? You have Morris Chestnut, Taye Diggs, Terrence Howard.
oh, okay,
So-
yeah.
Terrence Howard was talking about how triple F. Okay. But Terrence Howard was talking about how the gay people got the word fag banned from the thing. You know, banned from TV or what have you. And he said if they can get that banned, then we should be able to get nigga banned. And then he walked in, Taye Diggs walked in and he was like, "Oh, Hart, my nigga, what's up?"
Huh.
So I mean, it was written to show the irony of it. Like, how can we demand that it gets banned and we use it that way? It's like, well, how can we demand that educated lane gets banned and we use it to shame each other, like all the time?
And well, there would be, and you can almost guarantee that it wouldn't go away because it's actually like it's a disparaging term.
Right.
Right. So there's always going to be a class of people who's going to lob that at a certain group of individuals that they deem that. It's almost as if there's a vested interest that it not go away.
Exactly. And so, what do you think when it was used in this sense? Because you heard what I played earlier. What do you think they have to gain from it?
Views, you know, maybe some like clicks, maybe some likes on some comments related to you, or you know, the whole lame thing or whatever. I mean, it's nothing substantial. You know, There's nothing nothing like of substance that'll be gained from it. You know, it'll be nothing substantial. Just it's just all like social media. It's like black YouTube activity.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? It's kind of how I kind of put the context in which I kind of box a lot of the stuff in, so I can make a determination on what level of importance I should actually give it.
Right. Right. That's true. But yeah, but no, I'm done talking about that. I mean, that whole thing, when I got the notification, I just was like, okay, let me brush it off. Then the person, they sent a couple of pictures of what they were talking about in the chat room, and just standard shit. My light skinned girl song was trash. I hate the thing, I can't sing. So if you could sing, I might have a singer for it.
I mean,
Um,
you demoed the song. Okay, that was all it was. It was a demo, but you put the call out.
yeah,
Anybody who's got vocals, we need you to step up. We need to make the song happen.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So that's all that was. But so I just took that with a grain of salt. I mean, and to be, I would not even have this discussion had he just said lame. I would not have even had this discussion. I would have just been like, okay, this is just some bunch of drunk nigga arena talk, and But I'm like, wait a minute, this
Well,
is
look, if you go back in the manosphere, if you go back like a little over a year ago, right? Like this was like a big deal. This was all tied into all that insecure shit. Everybody is like this weird thing about the guy in Insecure who was the educated lame, quote unquote, and then the Octane shit came up, and then there was who's what and where everybody ranks, and and then like this whole educated lame thing became like it became magnified,
exactly
right? And so now you've got certain people like Cynthia G's, for example, right, who basically will pin ultimately she will ultimately pin all the failings, right, of black culture on the goddamn educated lames. See, because there was a failure to assert yourself. See, so you guys have the ability to come up with all the answers, but you failed to assert yourselves. So because of this, because you didn't assert yourself, that means you didn't straighten up the dudes who impregnated us. So it's all your fault.
right.
We gotta look at like the insanity in this.
It is. So chat room, stay tuned. I am going to come out with a video. I'm going to entitle it, and this is going to be a response to BGS. How am I not Lawrence? How am I not Lawrence? So I'm gonna do a checkbox. Will only fuck women who are as hot as Issa Rae or hotter. Check. Software engineer. Check. 6 foot or over. Check. In shape. Check. How am I not Lawrence? Yeah. So stay tuned for that. Because he did this whole thing protecting Lawrence, from the awful black female hive mind that would just disparage this educated lame guy. And here you are. Just saying. Yeah. I mean, the irony / hypocrisy is really weird.
Gosh, man.
Yeah.
That was why what I had to learn to do was not get caught up in what is typically being talked about on these YouTube streets, right? Let's say like, okay, I do what I do and I'll stick to that. And this is not to say that you go around talking about education. Obviously, that's not the case here. This is about something else. But um, just by and large, man, it's uh, I just don't know. Like I said, I think we see. I think a lot of people. I know I'm on YouTube for a lot of reasons that I think a lot of people aren't. Right? I mean, you could probably tell by like my media consumption on YouTube if you looked at like my history, like what I look at. You know, I look at like a bunch of just random stuff.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's not all these different like Black Manosphere channels that that I'm bouncing around, listening to who's saying what about what, and you know, and like all like Red Pill and all that shit. That's just not what it is that I've got going. You know what I mean? But you know, it's like you've got others, man, and that's pretty much what they've concentrated their consumption, their media consumption around. You know, I had to tell a cat that you know, I communicate with somebody like, you know, through the brain trust, and you know, I've been telling him, I'm like, dude, like, you know what, man, slow down on that, slow down on all that red pill stuff, dude. And I'm like, you need to consume stuff that is more aligned with like what your interests are. You know, he's kind of like he's a car nerd, like kind of like how I am. You know, he's into like, you know, fast vehicles and stuff, racing and all that. So, you know, I'm like, well, dude, you know, if you want to like build up like a custom header or some shit like that, I was like, dude, you should be spending all your time like on YouTube, like watching like some dudes build like a nice kit,
Right.
and you can get some ideas, and then that'll foster like what it is that you create. You know, so like you can use this medium to like increase your intelligence, increase your awareness. You can use it for a lot of like positive things or not.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You can, and you know, I showed you what I watch. I mean, I showed people that I watch. Clayton Thomas, y'all should check him out. Funny brother from Southern Cali. You know, he does these short skits. You know, always have beautiful women around, and to me, they're funny as hell. You know, especially the Reggie Bo series. So Clayton Thomas, look him up. You know, and Dormtainment, that used to be the shit. You know, I used to share that regularly, and what else is it? There's a Troy in LA. There's a bunch of them that, you know, like I like to watch those black comedy skit, those independent ones, and then of course programming tutorials, you know, to keep my skills sharp and shit like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I try, you know, I get dragged into shit like this, you know, because truth be told, I did not. This is a fucking diversion. I want to really hit this this colorism shaming thing harder.
You're allowing them to take you off your course.
Exactly. I mean, I can't stand it. But it's like they don't even have a
They
course.
know you're coming for them, dude, and they're pulling out all the stops. You got to just go straight to the damn hive. You going for the colorism thing? You got to do it. You got to stop getting sidetracked, man.
Yeah, I do. But I'm like, okay, you know, I got the thing. I gotta get it. I gotta get this song because I wrote an intro that I sent to somebody. You know, so the song will have an intro, and we're gonna rehearse that, and we're gonna do it. Then I talked to somebody that I met at the barbershop with vocals. So, you know, so hopefully it'll be a legit thing soon. And then I wrote another one to capitalize on it. So, and this is something that doesn't require vocals, but I know I won't hit this hard because I think that Black men are being pigeonholed in a lot of ways, not just in the mating market, but in a lot of ways, and we have to expand something fiercely, you know. And when I say not just in the mating market, I'm talking about more like, you know, we do not engage in extracurricular activity at all.
Yeah.
As a culture, our culture is our extracurricular activities, you know.
Well, that's what I mean. It's like it's what do we do? That's why I was telling you, man. Like if you go, so the people that can do like some amazing shit, you just don't know about them,
Right.
you know. You don't know about them, and not a lot of people care to know about. You
Right.
know, you know what I mean? So, um, so if no one really cares about that, then they really only care about like kind of like the most rudimentary things, the most pedestrian things. Um, and I think a lot of that has to do with the fact that, and and I hate really kind of speaking on this whole like matriarchy thing. I'm not like the foremost expert on it or whatever, but I can kind of see because I coach football with my brother. So you have a lot of like single moms who put their sons in football to get the instruction, get the discipline from men.
Right.
You know what I mean? So, I mean, a lot of there's just a lot of the reasons why a lot of so you have guys that have like like latent skill sets or talents, but they didn't since they didn't have fathers in their lives. There really weren't men. There was no one there to kind of like kind of guide them through it, so that they developed it as a skill later on, and they carried it throughout life. It kind of happened with me and the whole racing thing, dude. I've been having go-karts since I was a kid. But that was because my pops was there to like he'd go to the junkyard, go get a little $15 motor, and I had to frame stuff and let me put it together. Let me do what I needed to do.
Mhm.
So I mean, there was always that whole thing, man, of not having got not a lot of guys. Oh, that's beautiful, babe. Not guys that haven't men there to kind of push them into these extracurricular pursuits. So the easiest thing that that's available to us is like either like video games or like basketball, like the regular stuff. Okay.
Right.
Now
I will count as an extracurricular activity.
Oh yeah, because there's a lot that goes into it. Now I would say like so for example, skateboarding because I used to skate, and so there's a lot of young brothers that can shred. Okay, they can shred. You see, so but that's not necessarily something that's celebrated in Black culture though.
Right.
Okay, in racing, the stuff that I do, we're a small fraternity of brothers that do this, but we're all dude. My kart won last night. We won the main. Like, yo, like when we compete and we do this type of stuff, we usually do good.
Agreed.
So
have you ever been to the state fair?
What's that?
Have you ever been to the state fair in Sacramento?
No, not up there.
Yeah, I know it's far for you, but they used to have maybe they had it there. Maybe they had it in some of your local county fairs. The Black Cowboy Expo. You see that?
Oh yeah. No, I know about that up in Sacramento.
Yeah.
I've never been there, but I know about it. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's a trip because when we step out of our lane, we do good.
Mm-hmm.
We do good. I mean, that Black Cowboy shit was the shit. I mean, it's something that that it's an extracurricular activity that you do. But we as Black people, we just kind of like, okay. Here's what I mean. Black people listening. I want you to ask a non-Black person, what did you do this weekend? And I want you to compare your weekend to their weekend on the basis of excitement and productivity. And then, take that and evaluate how we spend our spare time. Don't be ashamed. I mean, you didn't create this world, you grew into it. You grew into it. Everybody knows it. Nobody's going to blame you unless you're a boomer. Nobody's going to blame you. They know that your parents parked you in front of a TV while they went to the club. They know that shit. Why do you think they wrote about it in Get Out? They know that. So just ask them, what did they do this weekend? And it'll be something like, complex. It'll be something like, oh yeah, prepared the go-kart, thing or yeah. Or exactly. Or I was reading, some chapters in my book in my son's Boy Scout books to prepare for a camping trip, you know, or something like that. Or if they don't have kids, oh, I went to this rave that took place in an abandoned Home Depot, the shit was live.
I was
Or I
at
went,
Burning Man.
huh?
I was at Burning Man.
Yeah, or it's at Burning Man. I'm telling you, it will be something. Well, don't take my word for it. Ask them, and then compare it to your weekend. Or just ask another brother or sister. What did you do? Actually, ask 10 of them, and see how many of them say smoke weed as if that's an activity. What'd you do this with? Oh, I smoked. That's not doing something, right? That's not something you do. I mean, don't get me wrong, it is a verb, but it's not an actual thing that you state as an activity.
Like as if you planned it for the weekend.
Yeah, exactly. Well, they did, but you don't
No, that's
just
what I
do
mean. It's like literally like this is what we're gonna do.
Yeah.
Not like go fishing. No, we're gonna smoke. That literally just tells you sit on your ass, just light it up.
Exactly. Well, I mean, fishing is sitting on ass too. Don't get me wrong, but at least
you gotta pack up. You gotta get your bait.
Yeah.
You gotta drive to the lake, take everything out, set up. Then you sit, enjoy the scenery. You're taking in all the nature and all that stuff, man. Like smoking, like niggas they was just in front of TV,
right.
batting on,
And that's the problem with Black people. And I think that Black people don't want to admit that the majority of us are lame. I came to that realization today. The majority of Black people are lame. And we live lame lives, and we do lame things. And the only thing that makes us feel not lame is pussy. The occasional fat bitch's pussy is what makes Black men feel lame. And the fact that somewhere there exists a person who's also a Black man who's getting less fat Black bitch's pussy than you are. That is it. That is I can't imagine a group of people getting lamer than that. Triple, your thoughts?
I mean, yeah, man. I pretty much agree with that wholeheartedly, man. I don't have any pushback for that. That's pretty much a thorough breakdown of the what it is,
What'd you do this weekend, Triple?
Oh shoot, man. I had a couple hot dates, man. And then I went for some motorcycle cruising and stuff. But just out and about, man, enjoying it.
Okay, that's cool. That's cool. Well, I'm gonna do a video on this. My grandmother had a birthday today afternoon. It was beautiful.
Happy birthday.
Yeah,
Yeah,
thank you.
birthday to grandma. Yeah.
Yeah. Grandma is, of course, not a boomer. She is a very submissive woman, and yesterday was one of many days per year, every year, that she got to reap the fruits of her labors, and that is her healthy children and grandchildren who worship and adore her, which is the byproduct of being the matriarch of the family. So absolutely, she enjoyed herself. It was a surprise party, and we enjoyed her, and we were happy, and flew from all over. We were happy to see her happy. Absolutely. So yeah. Um, and then of course, later that night, something else. But what I wasn't doing was listening to BGS for 8 hours on Saturday night. And even the Friday before, I was at home most of the night, but that was because my father was over. He stayed over here, and because he didn't want to alert grandma that he was in town for the surprise party. So yeah, I think I spent some time YouTube, and then I think I was on Big J's channel. But I'm just like here with my dad and shit. But well, my actual dad, not BGS. Not that pseudo dad that people go to because absent real father. But so that's what I did this weekend. Black people, make the most of your weekends. You have like 51 to 53 per year. Make the most of them. Do not. I know that we have an inactive culture, but expand a little. I'm not saying boycott BGS or anything like that. I'm saying expand a little. Go hiking and shit like that. Like this African dude. I'm dating his sister-in-law that I went to college with. He turned me on to hiking. I
Okay.
didn't. Yeah. I never. But he's not American. And he does all kind of shit. Like he plays soccer or at least back then. He's older now, but he played soccer on the weekends and shit like that. Him, other African dudes and Mexican dudes, they get together and they play soccer and shit. So it's like all kinds of stuff out there to do. And you missed it, Triple, but Ulysses and I were talking about the garlic festival and shit like that. I mean, it's not my thing, but I'm just saying there are things to do. There are a lot of activities to do, and we as Black people do not do it. We sit in front of an idiot box all day, whether we have a controller in our hand or a remote in our hand. We do that Al Bundy shit, or we drink, or we smoke weed, and it's like, look, or we listen to BGS. But it's like, look, we have to make better use and more productive use of our time, and it sucks because we are starting at ground zero. You know, Starting at ground zero sucks because that first hike was a motherfucking bitch. I never hit the incline button on the treadmill ever, and there's a good reason. There's a good reason. Fucking going up is work.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah,
You know,
definitely, definitely. Hey, to those points, game changer. I would definitely agree. It needs to be more diversification within the Black community,
yeah,
and as far as activities are concerned and interests. And you're right. Everybody likes to seem to go along with the status quo, or like, let's get drunk, let's get high, let's do this, let's do that. Video game stuck in your hand, controller stuck in your hand, or TV remote. But like when you say like go hiking, art museums, when you start getting into more culture things and more diversifying your activities, they like, oh, that's white stuff, or they just, they just act like it's completely foreign. But I mean, those are great things, man. You want to diversify your interests as much as possible.
yeah, I agree. Yeah,
Yeah, you never know what you might like or have a knack for, so who's to say?
yeah, exactly. And don't be afraid to do it. That's why I've always called myself a nerd because I've always done that. I've always done shit that was synonymous with nerd things because I liked it. I
Yeah.
like Star Trek. I like Star Wars. I like reading this shit. I like Dungeons and Dragons. It wasn't conventional. I grew up in the hood, but hey, I was born and this is what I like, and I like it more than basketball. Especially because I wasn't particularly skilled in basketball. So, I mean, it is. I like math. I like science. Like science fairs. I like Mesa. Is what
Oh,
it is.
okay.
You
Okay.
know,
What,
you know.
did you go to school for engineering, game changer, or?
Yeah, I did.
Okay, yeah, because I heard you in some other podcasts talking some high level math or whatever. So I
Uh-huh.
figured so. Yeah. I figured you said you had some interest in math and science before I heard that. So yeah. Would you go for electrical, computer technology engineering, or what?
Computer science.
Computer science? Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Yeah,
my degree is computer
yeah.
science.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay, cool. Yeah, I went for electrical engineering technology. So
Oh, Triple E, huh?
yeah, triple ET. Yep.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what's up.
Yeah, that's cool,
Were
man.
were
Respect.
were you in SB also?
Oh yeah, yep.
Is that right? I never been to nationals. It always came like at a time where it was just hard for me academically to go. But
Okay.
I could probably go now. I could probably go now. But yeah, so I like stuff like that, you know. I mean, but don't be afraid to do something that's out of the black, of definition of blackness, cultural activities, you know.
Yeah,
Because a lot of it is lame. And I'm not saying the black culture is lame. I'm just saying it's lame because you're not stepping out of the box, you know.
yeah,
It's lame to be anti experience.
Right.
yeah. Pretty much. That's a great right there. Complex. Pretty much.
Yeah.
Yeah. Whatever that doesn't fit their narrative is lame. Pretty much.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But don't be afraid of it. I remember in college, Dragon Ball Z was the shit, and everybody knew I was that dude that did not miss an episode. I would even buy the VHS of it. You know, they knew that because my roommate and I didn't have a TV, so they knew that I was that dude that would ask to come over and watch their shit. You know, or bring a tape and play it in their shit. So I mean, like just don't be afraid. Like I like Japanese cartoons back then. That was my thing. You know,
Yeah. Anime. I got you.
yeah. So we as black people, we got to expand a little bit. And you never know what you like. And there are exciting things out there, but this whole like sitting in front of the tube or drinking or smoking, that's just our way of saying there's nothing else to do. And the reason why we're so often or so quick to say that there's nothing else to do, because we haven't developed many interests.
Yeah. Definitely. Hey man, you look at somebody like Da Vinci, man, and what he was able to Leonardo da Vinci, what he was able to accomplish, man, and look how diversified his interest it's so many people within our race of especially men is so underutilized, man. It's scary, man. Like, because for a lot of them, especially a lot of the ones, the bulk that's stuck in the inner cities, man, they don't have an opportunity to diversify their interests, and even certain interests that they could diversify and they do have the opportunity to take advantage of, they're not doing it. And nobody's pushing them to do it, and it's really hurting the race as a whole, man.
Agreed. Agreed. I mean, we look for excitement in the wrong things. We look for
Yeah.
excitement in drama, in our personal lives, and we're addicted to very cheap thrills, television, video games, sex. These are, especially sex with an unattractive woman, these are all very cheap thrills.
You got that right.
It's cheap from a monetary standpoint, and it's cheap from a time and energy spent standpoint.
You don't get
like
much back in return.
Yeah, yeah. And even if you do, you didn't spend much to get it, like going fishing, would seem like, yeah, you're still sitting on ass, and really you could play a video game that simulates fishing, but it's not the same. It's not the same as actually spending the energy and going out to do it.
Agreed.
So yeah, we have become addicted to cheap thrills. And it's hard to get out of that. Like I say, African dude really had to, I mean, I've always tried to do it, like I read things that entertained me. And then I read things that was, of course, necessary for personal enrichment. But reading a book takes more work than watching a movie or a television series or something like that. But I do it. I wish I would do it more. I wish I had a read Game of Thrones as opposed to watch it. But Um, but you know, there's a higher thrill that comes with that, that Black people should explore. Um,
Yeah.
Actually getting out and working on things, um, and not just like going to the gym. Like hiking is something I did with him. I'm not a regular hiker, only because he moved, but that was something I did with him. But working out, I can't really classify that as the type of activity I'm talking about, because that is to add to my sex appeal. So that does fall under the pussy category. But but no, the hiking was something different, and I think that Black people, particularly Black men, should engage more in things like that. You're about to say something, Ulysses?
I would agree.
Yeah.
No, no,
How-
I was just listening.
Oh, okay.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I thought you came in for a second. So, but yeah, that's my spiel. So when I heard that last night, I was like, and I was gonna hit back, like I recorded what I was doing, but then I heard Rude today, and I'm like, I don't want to go down that path. I don't want to go down the Rude C Boogie path, like like who has the better life, or who's living the higher quality life, or who's more select and who's more non-select, because there's already that division, in the manosphere, and the division is largely based on who's getting the most pussy. Nah, 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 nah. I get more pussy than you. I'm like, do I really want to do that? Be that dude?
No, you don't. Especially given that none of this has been substantiated.
Right,
Right.
and that's
And that's the important point, Ulysses. Complex, period. You knocked it out the park with that.
yeah. So I'm like, okay, I don't want to go that route. Which is, yeah. That wasn't it, but because it was two things that got me, and I made the recording and I started to go down that route, and then but then I'm like, I didn't really see myself until I seen Rude do it today. And this is not a shot at him, I mean, because like I say, he's doing the exact same thing that I was gonna do. Like I was like 10 minutes away from doing it. So this is not a shot at Rude, but or even C Boogie, but it's just like, something. I want to do this different, because another thing that disappointed me was, like, this is what they were doing. This is what everybody who was watching him. That's what they were doing. That's how they spent their Saturday nights. That's extremely disturbing. I mean, I don't think TFM, Sandman, or any of those could draw that type of crowd on a Saturday night. And see, and here's another thing that gets me about that. Because I went to school for computer science. I went to school in the engineering department, a STEM degree or whatnot, whatever you want to call it. As did you, triple X. Now, I don't know if this is true for you. I didn't go to HBCU, so a lot of white kids and Asian kids, of course. Especially in our department, there were a lot of actual incels.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
But here's the thing: they were happy.
Yeah. I never ran into a depressed one.
Yeah, like I never ran into the Elliot Rodgers out there, and that's where the term started going in a bad direction, in a very bad. Well, that's where the term came from, but that's when it became like creepy, psychotic, dangerous to be called these things. But but I went to uni before that, and these were just like happy guys. Of course, they would be happier if they had like a dime on their arm, but these were just like regular, like, well, they weren't regular, but they were happy in their circle.
Yeah, and one of the things and reasons for that game changer is because, especially like I will see like some white guys or some Indian guys like that is because they could stay within their pocket, within their race, and they already kind of had that vibe and tag as the smart guy too. So they could run with that and just enjoy themselves and bask in it and not have to worry so much about being called out about it, you know?
Exactly.
Yeah. And being like, oh, you just a Indian lane, you know, and all of that. Like, I mean, that ain't gonna happen.
Right.
Yeah. Yep. So.
But even with them, because you know they had ACM and stuff like that. I was a member, but I wasn't an active member. And they had things that they did on Saturday nights that was still better than listening to BGS.
Oh man.
Like they would have like pizza parties, Dungeon and Dragon things. They would have like these Pokemon card shit that they do because it would be on a bulletin board, so they invite people. You know, it'll be in the bulletin board in the engineering department in school, so that they would invite people. They would have LAN parties and shit like that, and all kind of shit. So, and I'm like, when you ask, and I'm pretty sure, well, not now because it's summertime, but I'm pretty sure like, or maybe now, maybe they kick it, you know, during the during the summer. They just they get together and do whatever, you know. If you ask them how they spent their weekend, it would be less lame than BGS and his panel. But they would call those guys lame because they're incels. It's
Right.
so weird and fucked up. So, and that was another thing that hit me. You know, it's like the whole definition of lame was completely fucked up because to like nearly everybody, those dudes are lame. Even the incels would say that shit. You know, because they get together and do shit that they think is interesting. And some of the things is interesting to me. Not all of it, but some of the things is interesting to me. You know?
Yeah, definitely.
You know.
Hey, yo, gents, I'm gonna go ahead and drop off. Game Changer. I need to call her one, man. I had a long day today and last night.
Yeah. I'm about to close down, but I appreciate you.
Okay, that's what's up, Triple X. Pleasure as always.
Yeah, pleasure as always.
Yeah.
Brother.
Yeah, peace out to the chat. I'll catch y'all next one.
All right, peace. But yeah, that's all I'm saying. Shout out to China. That's all I'm saying is, you know, just we have to find better use of our spare times. We have to step out of the very small box of Black activities that we find acceptable.
I agree.
There is a wide range of activities that we could be participating in, and not, especially on a Saturday night. Do not spend that listening to somebody who is calling somebody who's actually doing something with a Saturday night lame when you, oh God. Yeah, just don't do that. Diversify your activity, Black people. Let me read a couple comments and then I'm gonna close out. You had some Triple X?
Oh no, man. No. Go ahead. Take it. You got it.
All right. Let me. All right. Let's see. Infantry Skills says the phrase educated lane was made to discourage Black boys from getting an education. Smart Black boys become men who would challenge the matriarchy. Absolutely. So it's weird that it would come from older Black men. I can't really think of a father calling his son an educated lame, but you know,
Yeah.
people look to be for the father. Well, he don't really look to them as sons. You were saying?
Yeah, I was gonna say one thing that's kind of overlooked, and I find this to be kind of apparent in our race, man, and it's something I witnessed a lot too, is that, you know, it seems to be almost a genuine rivalry with a lot of younger guys and older guys directly in our race, and I seen this. I seem to see that a lot more as opposed to other races. You know,
Right.
yeah, just like it's just like much older guys that's generations like 20, 25 years older than you, and it's almost like they want to compete directly with you, and it's like, no, you're at a different place in your life at this point, man.
Well, that's easily answered, and that's because Black men are not married, for the most part, like 52% single. So
yeah,
what winds up happening is they are competition. If you are not married past a certain age, then you're still on the dating market.
yeah,
And you're still on the dating market, then the young guy with the six pack that he don't have to diet for is competition to you.
yeah. No. I get what you're saying. Yeah, from on the dating standpoint, I get that. You're right. Like it's still competitive because it's a lot of single older guys. It just seems like they should get to a certain age where guys should be in the wisdom stage. And if you got younger dudes coming up and you got some worthy ones, you want to do some investing in them. You know what I'm saying?
True.
Yeah,
That's true for married men. The married men are the one that coach football, that start a little league team and stuff like that. They're the ones who are preparing for the future of the rest. But then you have this group of unmarried guys, who they're competing.
yeah.
And they're not competing for their own woman. If you're 60, you're not out trying to look for the 60-year-old women. No. You're out trying to get the China Whites out there. You're trying to get
yeah, definitely.
you're trying to get her, like, oh, your husband is lame, you need to come and get with BGS. I mean, you're not trying to get something your own age, so yeah, your competition, you're trying to get that Cynthia G, so you're going to down Robert Perkins, because hey, he's competition, and that's a little bit of what's going on between C Boogie and Obsidian,
Yeah, I see that, and that seems to be an ongoing thing that seems to die down and come back. But
right, exactly.
yes, yeah.
Exactly. C Boogie, in a healthy society, Obsidian would be married by now, and he would give C Boogie advice on preparing him for marriage or preparing him for life. However, because of BFF, they're both in the same dating market.
Yeah.
So, and unless C Boogie or unless Obsidian significantly out earns C Boogie, and he probably doesn't, then C Boogie has an extraordinary advantage. So, it's reasonable to conclude that that he sees him as competition and there's going to be rivalry.
Oh, definitely. Yeah, it makes sense on why it would be, but yeah, I don't know. What am I expecting? Maturity?
I actually did, and that's why I'm clapping back so hard against this BGS thing. I mean, I expect a maturity.
I know.
It's a very immature thing for a 60-year-old man to call a man a nerd or an educated. That is a very immature thing to do.
Yeah, I can't defend that, man. I definitely can't defend that, man. No, none of us should be calling any of us nerds, man. It should be the gold standard should be educated in the community, period.
Right.
Yeah, that should be the gold standard, period.
Yeah, I call myself that, but it was used as a definite negative, as we talked about in King Sigma's channel. It was used as a definite negative, like a teenager would say, but we didn't even use it as a negative, unless we're playing the dozens when we were teenagers. So it's very weird, but yeah, so that maturity goes out the window. But it does mean clearly that this whole MGTOW month thing is bullshit, and that he is actually still competing or competitive on the mating market.
Yeah, yeah. I heard the thing that you guys had the back and forth about the Megan Good. I finally got a chance to hear that, man. Yeah. I see where you're getting at, man.
Yeah. So that was when it first happened. That was when I did not seek him out or anything. We're on Low Passage channel. Out of nowhere, this shit comes up. I'm like, wait a minute. So, so that was kind of like, okay, that was a shot. And then he followed up by going on his woman's channel and, decided to like further it, and then talk to a bunch of women, about me in a negative way, while playing a recording of that. So I'm like, okay, so the sexual competition thing is real, like you said, he started to hear my name in more and more circles, and he's like, okay, let me shut this down before, before what? I mean, I'm not out. I am not looking for YouTube pussy. Let me just put that out there. I am not. I don't have my face on the thing. I am not here looking for YouTube pussy. And it's nothing against you attractive YouTube women out there, nothing against y'all. But I mean, like, feasibly, I don't mention where I live. It's very unlikely that you live near me. So many things can go wrong in a relationship, and I would prefer to not get doxxed afterwards.
Right.
And furthermore, the thought that, you would move to Cali, just to be with somebody whose opinions you agree with or disagree with on YouTube is so far-fetched that it's not even really worth entertaining. And I'm seeing somebody.
Right.
So it's not, it's not even, you shouldn't really see me as sexual competition, because I'm not, You should definitely be rude as sexual competition, because, and Rude's my dude, so he would agree with this. This nigga wants YouTube pussy. And I think that he probably is getting it. So, hey, salute to him. But, I mean, that's, worry about that dude. I'm not here for you. I'm not after your pussy, BGS. I am not, I'm trying to push a narrative. I'm trying to move past this shit so I can get back on this colorism thing. Stop fucking with me. What I'm doing has nothing to do with you.
You've been talking about the colorism stuff for a minute. You still ain't got to it yet, huh? You keep getting derailed.
It's like, look, whatever you think I am trying to take from you, I'm not. I have nothing to do with you. This colorism thing is something that I want to get out there for Black men and boys. Do not let them shame you. If the girl of your dreams is light-skinned, you would be a goddamn fool to leave her for some for a darker skinned chick because you feel that because you believe the stuff that she tells you.
Yeah, and vice versa, man. I agree with that.
Exactly, and vice versa. And and that's the story, and that's the story I was telling. And that goes back to the story I was telling about the office chick, the light-skinned one who I was attracted to, who's with the white dude. It would not be in her best interest to fuck with me because we both Black,
A game changer.
It's like, no, this is a mountain bike nigga and a mountain climbing nigga, and I'm not. Fuck it. Y'all got more in common. It is what it is. I like to fuck, but that's it, But go ahead.
Yeah, you might, all I'm simply gonna say is you might want to go to BGS channel right now.
God.
Just open his channel. Look at the last few videos, man.
I thought you were talking like right now.
Yeah, some stuff just got posted. That's all I'm saying, man.
This nigga.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, he's making it a point, but the thing is, like I was saying, you know, I am not coming after this dude or anything like that. It's, I mean,
This all right now. At this point, this is these are direct. Like, oh man.
well, he
Okay.
has no choice. I mean, once, okay, I see why he's afraid. I mean, because he has this infallible image of wisdom and intelligence. If that is challenged successfully, then he is nothing. And I think that what the fuck? I didn't even have to go. Hold on, I didn't even have to go to his thing. It came up on my recommended list. It's like 3 things.
Yeah. It's, yeah, these are. That's what I'm saying, man. You should go to the vein. That's why I was saying that. So he just, because I get notifications and I just seen 3 of them pop up, and I was like, yeah, you might want to take a look at these.
Wait a minute. This nigga's saying, game changer. Show your work. What work are you referring to? Like, what do you think that I should be working on that I should show? I already said I am the pussyless getting nigga alive. So should I show my not getting pussy work? Like, what work is he referring to on that front? But then let's just call this like a mutual work showing thing. You know, what work are you showing?
Man.
Oh,
well, yeah. You,
wasn't he like recently exposed as, you know, like in the top 10 ugliest niggas alive? Didn't somebody troll him on some shit like that or something recently? I don't know.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know.
So that's what it is. So basically, his inability to take a L, you know, or a perceived L, is causing him to behave this way. It really is. I mean, that's the real reason that he's coming at me. But I don't know why he came at me.
Yeah, I would definitely say at this point, definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Minutes ago, he's like the last educated lame rant for a game changer. So he admits that he had several rants.
Yeah. yeah.
The last one.
Right. For
This is
today. Yeah, he said for today.
Oh, for today. Oh shit. Yeah.
Yeah.
Months ago. So the day is over. So hopefully he means Monday. You know, because he's on the West Coast too. So yeah, so that means that he's gonna start again tomorrow. Damn. This shit is hilarious. This shit is fucking hilarious.
Hey, some has hit a nerve at this point. You know,
everything is a nerve with this dude. He is trying to create a facade. You know, he's that dude. You know how some dudes are big but they can't fight, and then once somebody steps to them, it's like, oh shit, I don't want my secret to come out that I can't really fight. You know, he's that dude. He don't want his secret to come out that he's really not that bright. And he knows that, you know, some people have the ability to make that apparent. You know.
I hear you, man. I hear you. Yeah. You know what, man? You guys, whoo, what can I say? I ain't heard the video. They just came out. So
yeah, me either.
Yeah. I'm sure you're gonna have to go through them. I'm sure you're gonna have some opinion on them tomorrow.
Nah. I'm back on the colorism. Whatever he has to say. Yeah. My complex plan. You know.
You might. It might be best not to respond on that front, but that's up to you, man.
Well, agreed. It's not. It's really not in my best interest to engage this. You know, but you know, he constantly and chronically engages me. you know, on a hangout where I'm not involved last night, you know, my name comes up and he's taking shots. This nigga is fucking this nigga's a fucking lunatic. He's a fucking lunatic, you know. But I mean, right now it's funny because he's already done his worst. He's already done his worst. He already just shitted on my name in front of his audience of like 32,000 people. He's already done his worst, you know. But is what it is, man.
Yeah.
So
you got a lot of people coming at you now, man.
I do not want this. I swear, you know, I didn't want this BMT, and I squashed all the other shit. Like every time,
right. I know, yeah, all that other stuff. Yeah, I know you squashed it. Yeah, I think, like I say, a lot of this stuff start from other people bringing up other people in discussion. So, you know,
yeah. My name, and he just decided to attack. You know.
Yeah. Yep.
And
well, you gotta remember, like a lot of people look up to him. I mean, he got a lot of good information. You know, I like a lot of his stuff. A lot of people look up to him. Probably some things got mentioned where it was in counter to some things that he had said, and your name was probably mentioned, and that's probably happened several times. So that's why you've gotten this response.
Okay, and I'm not in the know. I'm just
I don't know specifically. Like I wasn't on that hangout last night, so I don't know, or I don't know what has been discussed in the last week or two, like within that hangout, because I haven't been like in the BGS hangouts the last hangouts the last often. So I don't know, but I know, you know, obviously some has had to happen recently for this to happen. That would only make sense.
Yeah. So yeah, I don't know.
But have fun with those, man.
Yeah. Thanks for bringing it to my attention. But I'm gonna just stick on this colorism shit, or else, you know, or else the females win. You know, I'm trying to attack chicks like Chrissy and Rashida Strober. You know, chicks who have no problem finding a mate and don't have any kids, yet they want to tell men who they should not, who they should turn down and who they should go for.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to your content on that for sure. Yeah.
I'm trying to do that, and these niggas. There's bigger issues to address, but hey, it's amazing. But all right, man, I'm gonna shut down. It's game over.
Shut it down, man. Yep. I'll talk to you soon, brother.
Okay, thanks a lot. It's game over. If you hadn't hit the like button before you came in, go ahead and hit that. If you're not subscribed to this new channel, go ahead and subscribe. This is Game Changer 00100 live, and I'm out. Peace.